Our next speaker, John Smagula, is an associate dean at Temple University. He directs all of the law school international programs there. But John is also a student himself, a student of culture, a student of China. He's visited every province in China. He's also a student of tea. And I spent quite a bit of time today on YouTube watching one of his presentations at Temple University. It's fascinating. And he points out that tea can also de-stress you. So you could probably go to acupuncture, have some tea, and have a really good day. Why don't you walk us through what we're going to be seeing from you?
My name is John Smagula, and I am the Assistant Dean of Temple University Law School in Philadelphia. And at our university, we have students from over 100 countries. And education is a way of bringing people together in unity and in harmony to share common interests and goals. But there's another way of bringing people together in unity and harmony, and that is through tea and tea culture. I lived in China for over 10 years, and during my time there, I learned a lot about tea and how it is good for culture, how it is good for unity, and how it is good for health. And it's something that we all can enjoy regardless of where we are from. Here at the United Nations, we have members from countries from all over the world, and each and every country has its own tea culture. In India, there's the masala chai culture. In the Middle East, there's the 3 cups of tea culture. In England, there's the Victorian tea culture. And in China, of course, there is the great tea culture that gives root to all tea cultures throughout the world. In China, tea comes all from the same bush. It's called the Camellia sinensis. And this tea can create each and every kind of tea that we have today. The same bush, the same plant, but it can create a multitude of teas similar to who we are as human beings with the same common origins. And that sense of unity infuses what we call the Chinese tea culture today. There are 5 kinds of teas in China. There's white tea, green tea, oolong tea, black tea, and dark tea, or pu'er tea. 5 kinds of teas. In the West, we very commonly drink black tea, which is a darker color. And then in China, it is predominantly green tea. Interestingly, they all come from the same bush, but they have different processing methods, mostly with differing levels of oxidation, with white tea being the least oxidized, up to the black tea, which is the most oxidized. But really, the teas themselves are all from the same bush and just have different processing methods. Tea is part of Chinese culture because over 70% of tea produced in China is green tea, which is very lightly oxidized, which is why it is a lighter color. Whereas in the West, we predominantly drink black tea, which is fully oxidized and has a darker flavor. Really, there's no right or wrong, good or bad. It's just a matter of what your preferences are. Also, culturally, tea has different meanings. So when we say the word cha, or tea in Chinese, as green tea, most Chinese would consider tea to be green or a lighter tea. Whereas in the West, when we say tea, we often think of black tea. We're using different words and perhaps thinking of different forms of tea, but in the end, we're still talking about the same product. And that also is what is very unifying about tea, because we can all enjoy different kinds of tea that form part of our own way of communicating and reducing distance among ourselves. So as we talk about qi and Chinese tea, it's a way of integrating that into your own lifestyle. For example, at Temple University, I have created a tea club with my students where we actually sit and drink tea as a safe space to discuss difficult and challenging issues. And that's valuable because coffee, as a beverage, has caffeine, will stimulate you to do work in the future. Alcohol, as a beverage, will make you leave yourself and try to escape from your current reality. Whereas tea brings you to yourself. It centers you. And it's a great way to be mindful and meditative about the issues that you're currently thinking about. So different beverages play different roles. But today, in universities and in life, we're very focused on wellness, mental wellness and physical wellness. And we all have to deal with a lot of stress and anxiety. And tea is a great way to bring into your personal wellness plan a way to reduce your anxiety and to promote your own physical and mental wellness. The physical benefits of tea are well known and well documented. Lowering blood pressure, reducing weight, reducing stress, even for dental health. Tea has a myriad of health benefits that have been well researched, both in Chinese medicine and in Western medicine. So not only when you're dealing with stressful or anxious situations, when you're drinking tea, you're drinking something that's good for you, as opposed to reaching for junk food or for something that's not good for you. The second thing about tea is it has enough caffeine to raise your concentration, but it also has a component called theanine, which is a muscle relaxer. So actually you're raising your mental awareness while relaxing your body, which is very optimal for putting yourself in a mindful state, which is one of the greatest ways to combat anxiety. And bringing tea into your lifestyle is not only a way of reducing distance, but also a way of increasing and enhancing your own wellness. And so that's why it's always my recommendation to my friends all over the world. If you're looking for a way to reduce distance, if you're looking for something to create a unifying atmosphere, also to be good to yourself physically and mentally, I can think of nothing better than tea. And that's why I'm very happy to be here today on behalf of my university to be able to speak about the values of Chinese tea culture, how it's benefited me personally, how it's benefited my students, and I'm certainly hoping that all here will be able to enjoy tea. Thank you very much.